Hello, welcome back to Central Florida Salute YouTube, part 2 of the Band of Brothers. I now have a couple members of the Band of Brothers. I have the president, Joe Marshall, and I have Jack Orr, who's the treasurer, from what I understand.
I'm just a marketing director.
You're what?
I'm just a marketing guy, just a PR
Oh, marketing guy.
PR guy.
Oh,
I just do PR work now.
yeah, that's me too. I'm here at this Ambus. I'm the PR, public information officer.
Okay, great.
Yeah, you get paid probably about the same as I get paid.
Probably the same.
Yeah, nothing.
Yeah.
But anyway, gentlemen, I'm glad you could make it to the show. And in episode 1, we talked with the owners of City Fire, Mike and Gina, and we also talked with Al, who was the first president and one of the guys who started the Band of Brothers. And as I said before in the show, that I'm really impressed how 7 guys got together at a couple of restaurants, and now you guys have like 1,000 members, right, Joe?
Over 1,000 veteran members.
That's amazing. And you're also a not-for-profit?
Correct. We became a 501c3 in 2017.
Okay. So I want you to tell me a little bit about how you grew, and what you guys do. And if somebody wants to be a member, I also want to know how that works.
Yes, sir. As you probably know, the Villages is home to a lot of veterans. There are a lot of veterans in the Villages. I'm not really sure myself what the draw is for veterans in the Villages, but that's just a fact of life.
Actually,
We've got a lot of veterans.
Actually, Joe, it's all over Lake County. There are a lot. I know you got out of the Villages. You got the bubble over there. That's the Villages.
Correct.
You get out of the bubble. You come up here. They have all kinds of veterans organizations in the Plantation, Pembroke, Hawthorne. They're all over the place. And when I interview people, I get people from all over. But you're right there. The Villages is a very large community. You're 3 counties, so there are an awful lot of veterans there.
Yes. And when the original guys first started getting together, I mean, I certainly wasn't around. I've only been in the Villages for 6 years. I can only imagine that the word would have spread pretty quickly among their friends, those original members, among their friends. They would have to say, there's a group of us that gets together, why don't you come on over? And because there are so many veterans, the word is going to get out like that. And the growth has just been phenomenal. Just in the time that I've been here, we've grown by well over 400 members.
Yeah.
Wow, that's great.
I mean, we add members almost every week. And to become a member, our bylaws, I think that the original guys, the ones that set up originally it was a social club. The ones that set that up and finally came up with a set of bylaws for the group, they very wisely said, look, there's no charge to join. And also, we're never going to ask for dues. It's not that kind of thing. It's the kind of thing where like-minded people get together, tell their stories, commiserate with each other. The membership was started by Vietnam veterans. Certainly, the majority of our membership is still Vietnam veterans, but we've got a lot of years now since the end of the Vietnam War. We've had 2 major wars in Afghanistan and Iraq, and a global war on terror, that kind of stuff. We're starting to get a lot of those veterans in as well.
Oh, that's great.
Yes, it is great, because it's my understanding that that set of veterans, they're not all that interested in AMVETS or American Legion. I've heard.
Well, I
I've heard
got to agree with you because
I've
there's
heard that happens.
yeah.
And we don't have a lot of them in the Band of Brothers yet, but we do. The ones that we sign up, and we sign up 3 or 4 a week, five or six a week sometimes. Those are all, almost all later veterans since Vietnam. And I myself am not a Vietnam veteran. I enlisted in the Navy in 1976. The end of the Vietnam era was 1975. So myself, I'm not a Vietnam veteran. Also, civilians can join our group. We've got over 1,000 veteran members, but we've also got over 200 civilian members. Support members, honorary members, family members of veterans.
Associate members.
Yeah.
Yes,
Associate members.
yes. And the only difference is that when we have a vote, a membership vote, the membership, the veteran membership are the only ones that are allowed to vote. And by votes, I mean when we elect our officers, and also any of our 501c3 charitable donations, we put those out to approval by our membership. Our membership approves any giving that the organization is involved with.
And one thing I might add is because of the increased number of members of the Band of Brothers, about 3 years ago we said, wait, we need another place to go. And that's how we talked to Gina and Mike at City Fire, and the president then was Ben Vasquez, and I was the VP then. Where can we go? And they said, well, let's come to Brownwood, because the village is moving south, as we know, every week.
It's moving everywhere.
Even further south every week. So we said, we'll just check this out and see how it goes. So I kind of opened up Brownwood, coming up on 3 years now. And wow, it expanded so quickly, and it now has become a big meeting place for all of us. And now, as Joe was the VP there, and now the president, he will actually also tell you about that.
I hear what you're saying about Brownwood, because you see, I live in a plantation. It's easy. It's pretty easy to get to Brownwood for me, but to go down to Lake Sumter Landing is like, that's quite a jaunt. As we get older, it gets to be a jaunt.
Yes.
And I know you've attracted other people that are friends of mine. One of them is Eric Anderson, who is with the Spirit Equine Therapy, the horses. I did a show with him. I brought up my kids and my grandkids and my great-grandkids up to his ranch. And so there are people from Webster and Leesburg and all over, but they will go to Lake Sumter Landing, as opposed to going all the way down to Lake Sumter, because the traffic is terrible. But yeah, I'm glad to see how you've grown. And getting back to your point, I have been in the veterans community for over 40 years. I have been a member of all kinds of organizations, and I've talked to all kinds of people with PTSD. I did shows about PTSD, trying to tell the spouse of a veteran, whether it be, he be a male or a female, that sometimes it's hard for you to understand that person unless you've walked in their shoes. And so sometimes they get judgmental. You can't be that way. But you know what I found, I like the Band of Brothers. There are people who will not come to a Legion or a VFW or AMVETS, but there are a lot of people in AMVETS, Legions, and VFW who do a lot of good things.
Oh, yeah.
And I sat down here, when I first came down, there was a guy named Walter Moss. Walter was a huge man. I started talking to him, and he started telling me about being a tunnel rat in Vietnam.
Oh.
And I looked at the size of him and I said, that had to be one big tunnel, you know? But when you go to a place like the Band of Brothers or here or Legion VFW, you don't know who you're sitting next to. And there's an automatic magnetic kind of
Well,
get to know each
It's
other.
a great point. Any military veteran, you automatically have something in common with any other military veteran. Well, regardless of the branch of service, you know, we all deal with things in the military that may not be very pleasant. And we all deal with things in the military. You make friends in the military that are closer than family members.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
that's right.
Now, we've got, in our membership, we've got a lot of guys, a lot of Purple Heart wounded veterans that did not have pleasant tours of duty. We've also got a lot of guys that, like myself, I enjoyed my tour of duty. My job in the Navy was working in the engine room. I was what us Navy folks call a snipe, and I had a really good tour of duty. It led to my career working for the Navy for my whole career, over 40 years. So
What did you when you were working for the Navy? What do you mean?
I was working at the engineering station up at Philadelphia, Naval Surface Warfare
Oh, okay.
Center.
Okay.
And it was just a very gratifying career. My whole point is that regardless of what your particular experience in the military is, you would just be surprised at how many people come to our meetings and they will meet somebody that was in their same company or associated with the same type of aircraft. Or I've met friends that were also engineers in the Navy, and while we didn't serve together, we served with people, mutual acquaintances.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the stories like that in the Band of Brothers, it happens every week.
It does.
And so through your programming here, which I appreciate very much, I'm not ashamed to put out a call for any veterans in and around the villages. Come to one of our meetings and sit around and have a lunch, have a drink, see who you can meet. It's a great experience.
And
Yeah.
it's a bonding that you really don't find anywhere else.
Well, you know, that's one thing about the military, you know, and like you said, we all, no matter what branch you were, we stick together.
There's always
Yeah.
a commonality.
There is.
But I do remember, you know, I being a country boy, getting on a bus, going to New Haven, getting sworn in, then going to my basic training, and I got off I was so naive. I got off the plane, and there's the drill instructor, and he says, you can ride home and tell your mama to sell your, because your ass belongs to me.
That's right. That's right.
And then he says he's going to have a GI party, and I thought, boy, that's great. Until I found out what a GI party was. And then you get to meet guys from all over the country, all over different religions, different colors, different nationalities, and you become a team, you know.
Absolutely.
Speaking of which, we haven't heard much from you about your Air Force, right?
Yeah, I'm Air Force. In 1970, actually the lottery came out for a draft in 1969, and I was like number 17 or something to be drafted into the Army. So I said, I think I'll join the Air Force. My dad was in the Army Air Corps in 1944 to 48, and but I didn't get the job that I wanted. I was on a year of
Who
active.
does?
I was a typist. And so I'm an admin guy, and I said, okay, and I see these airplanes fly by. My dad was a pilot then with Eastern Airlines, and I want to fly. And I look out the window, and I was very, very, not very effective at my job. And I got in trouble a lot for not doing my job. So one day I said, I saw 141 take off one day. So I want to be on one of those. The guy says, you can't do that. Just get back to typing. So anyway, I called a commander in Charleston Air Force Base there. I was at Keesler at the time. I said, how do I become a C-141 crew member? He said, well, we're sort of flight engineers, but you have to be a mechanic. So I wasn't a mechanic. So they gave me a bypass test. That if you can bypass this 6 months of training to become a 5 level, it was then, as a basic mechanic. And I'm here today because I passed it by 1 point. I guessed on every question, I think, because I was very non-mechanical, and became a mechanic on paper. Thus, Charleston called me and says, well, we don't have room in the active duty, but if you go into reserves, we'll keep you on active duty for 2 more years, and you can become a flight engineer. So I went over to Charleston in 1974, and then as a reservist was on active duty and went to Vietnam during baby lift, April 4th to the 28th of in 1975. I did the baby lift, and then went back to the reserves.
Talk to me about the baby lift.
Baby lift, we flew in and out. In this case here, we flew out of Clark. And we picked up babies, Vietnamese babies, and airlifted them back to the U.S., along with troops that hadn't been lifted out of Vietnam, because the end of Saigon was coming by the end of the month, the close of Saigon. And we ended up carrying babies out to the West Coast and other places in the U.S. to be adopted or taken to
That's interesting.
orphanages.
See, I never knew about that one.
Yeah. But
You learn something every day.
yeah, so then my reserve status, then I would fly during the week in the Air Force as a volunteer flight engineer with the active duty. On the weekends, I took flight lessons at the Aero Club. And then when I got into reserves full-time and got my full-time airline job, I flew for another 40 years with the airlines.
Oh, so you were flying. You finally got there,
Then
huh?
I downgraded to captain later in life. So
Wow.
anyway,
Congratulations.
according to my enlisted guys.
Well, I'm glad you both came, but we got to get back to the Prez over here, the president, because I want people to know what things you do to raise money and what events you have. I mean, right now, you can talk about what you've done in the past, but this show, well, we don't know when this is going to air, so don't talk about what something's going to be on tomorrow or the next week, but just a general overview of what the shows and the things you do to raise money.
Yes, sir. Well, the Band of Brothers is a 501c3 officially. So our job is to give away money. The way we raise our money mainly is through 50/50 at our meetings at City Fire. On Tuesdays, City Fire Lake Sumter, 2 to 4. And on Thursdays, Brownwood at City Fire, 2 to 4. And we have a DJ. It's just a great time. It's a great social time for veterans. During that time, we have a 50/50, and it's very well supported. The people that go to these to our socials are. We go there to have a good time. There's no question about that. That's why we're there. But while we're having a good time, we also like to be conscious of things that we can do as a 501c3. And so everybody's very generous with their purchase of our 50/50 tickets. We also raise money through a PX store that we run once a month at each location, selling hats and shirts and pins, patches for vests, things like that. The store does very well. That's another source of our income. We also get occasional donations to the 501c3. Through the years, the Band of Brothers has donated well over $150,000
Wow, that's great.
to various organizations, mainly veteran-centric organizations, but not exclusively. because, you know, when the villages moved into Central Florida, the surrounding communities, I mean, we all know they're not all that thrilled about the villages buying up all their farmland and moving a bedroom community into their rural setting. So that we're conscious of that, and we want to be good neighbors. And so part of our giving, approved by our membership, overwhelming approval by our membership, we give to a couple of different food kitchens in the area. One over in Fruitland Park, Beyond the Walls, is one of our regular recipients, and we got a new one over in Wildwood, the Wildwood Soup Kitchen. So while these aren't veteran-centric, these food kitchens do serve a lot of veterans, because we all know that there's a lot of veterans that are on hard times, and they avail themselves of these food kitchens in the area, and so we like to do that.
Also some scholarship programs as well.
Well, just for things that we do as a 501c3. Like I mentioned before, through the years, we've given well over $150,000 to. I know that you're interested in a couple of these through your documentaries. Operation Shoebox. Through the years, we've given over $17,000 to Operation Shoebox.
Yeah, that was one of my first shows too, was Shoebox. I want to go back there and visit with them again.
And I heard you mention while we were preparing for our get-together here, I heard you mention Project SOS.
Reverend Gary Cato is a dear friend of mine.
Well, the Vander Brothers has contributed through the years over $26,000 to that cause, and we are also we've been involved with giving to these therapeutic equine therapy groups. We have a scholarship program for veterans, for family members of veterans. There's been over $29,000 given to that scholarship program. So and so far this year, in various programs, we've given over $15,000, and we're not finished because we've still got the rest of this month, November and December, before the end of the end of our fiscal year is the end of the calendar year. And so anybody that may be interested in joining a veterans group in and around the villages, consider ours, because it's not just a social thing. We also want to have a purpose.
Oh, absolutely.
And our purpose is to be concerned and available for veterans in need, and also to be good neighbors within our community. And so if that's something that you'd like to be involved with, please come out and check us out.
So if people want to know, you have a web page or something they can look at on the computer. I mean, you do, right?
The answer is yes.
What is it?
I don't have that.
Help them out. Help them out, Jack.
We have the BOBIB in the villages, BOBIB.com, which is a website. You can go through BOBIB in the villages.com.
I see why you keep them around.
Thank you, Jack. And we also we put out a newsletter, which is very robust to all of our membership. So if you join up, you'll be getting our newsletter. We try to keep in touch with everybody. You know the villages. We've got a lot of snowbirds that are members, A lot of those snowbirds are in the process of returning right now. So
Oh, yeah, this is the time of year.
yeah, so it's just a great organization. I may be a little prejudiced because I'm the president at the moment, but
No, you
No,
know,
he's right.
I don't think you're not prejudiced. You're just proud, and you should be. It's a great organization, and you're doing a lot of great things. I think we pretty much covered everything, no?
Yeah.
You know, so the webpage again is
BOBIB, Banner Brothers in the Villages.
Band of Brothers in the
B.
Villages.
Bravo, of Oscar Bravo.
Okay. So, gentlemen, I want to thank you for coming on Salute. You saw how we do this,
yes, sir.
so we want to stand up.
Thank you.
To all our veterans out there, our active military and their families, we salute you for all you do. Till next time. Today I'm at AMVETS Post 2006, a major sponsor of Central Florida Salute, and I want to introduce to you the commander here, Ronnie Mack. Ronnie, tell us a little bit about AMVETS 2006. Where are you located? And
We are at 500 North Canal Street, Leesburg, Florida. It's right off of 441, between 441 and Main Street on Canal. Can't miss us. And we're a veterans organization, along with, we have an auxiliary, and we have sons of veterans that are related some form or another to a veteran. And we do a lot for a lot of charitable donations and stuff to charities in the area and in the county, and we're a major sponsor to Central Florida Salute. We're proud of it. We're glad to be. You guys do a heck of a job, and we'll sponsor you as long as I'm here. We're going to sponsor you. So.
well, I'll tell you what, we do, Sue and I really appreciate it. We're a two-person operation. Yep. And what we try to do with education and supporting our veterans community, and you supporting us is major thing. It's major.
We're glad to do it, Bob. We're glad to do it.
And you have sons here, you have auxiliary here. You've got a website too if somebody wants to join.
Yep, it's don't punch into www. It's amvets-2006.org, and it'll take you right to our website, Facebook page, and all that's there, and you'll be able to find that. The webmaster, he tries to get the calendar on there every month, anything pertinent. There's a lot of other links on there for veterans to find out where to get help for certain claims and stuff like that. Our webmaster's really into that stuff. That's the guy you ought to be interviewing right there. So,
well, you know what,
he's got
Ronnie?
a lot of stuff.
You have a lot of clout. You tell him to talk to me, and we'll get him on the show. Okay?
I can do that. I can
All
do
right.
that.
But I just want to, on behalf of Sue and myself, we want to thank AMVETS 2006 because you guys are the major players behind us, and we appreciate it.
But we just wish we could do more. We really do.
Thank you.
Thank you. You guys are awesome.